Holy smokes, Netflix scored a winner. Netflix says Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead grabbed one of its highest views ever, with 75 million member accounts tuning in that whole 4 weeks of its release. Wow! I guess always bet on dead. Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix. My name is Chris Wong. First, we're going to get into Army of the Thieves, actually. Then we're going to get to another squad, the Suicide Squad, and maybe a little bit of David Ayers as well. Finally, James Wan talks about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and even comments on an Aquaman 3. Let's get into the Army! Now with Netflix exploring the whole Army of the Dead franchise, Zack Snyder is back in the game, this time producing what they're calling Army of Thieves. He posted this today. Dieter is back with more safes and less zombies. Don't miss the Army of Thieves Comic-Con panel this Sunday, July 25th at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Comic-Con at home, Army of Thieves. Oh, I totally forgot there was a Comic-Con this weekend. Whoa. I don't know how many panels are going to be over there because a lot of the DC stuff is going to DC Fandom, but Netflix and Army of Thieves are definitely taking Comic-Con by storm. Now, like I said, this is not directed by Zack Snyder, but it is actually produced by Zack Snyder. The director is actually Matthias Schweighöfer, who plays Dieter in Army of the Dead. So yes, this is a prequel. There probably won't be zombies because he claims he's never even seen or even killed zombies until Army of the Dead. But I'm thinking this is going to be more than just a safe-cracking movie. I'm feeling that we're probably going to explore maybe a little bit of possibly how Dieter may have even started the whole time loop thing in Army of the Dead. What? Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. I'm thinking he's the one that opened up that Pandora box, if you will. Because there's more to that Army of the Dead story than just zombies. I mean, there's aliens, there's cyborg robots, and there's a time loop thing going on. It's crazy, and I know there's a lot more of that story to tell, possibly in Army of Thieves. I'm thinking we're going to get a trailer at that Comic-Con panel, so I'm wondering if they're going to hint a little bit at that or not. We'll have to wait and see. Let's talk about another squad, now over at DC. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad is coming out on August 6th, and you know what? It's not being hyped up or talked about that much for some reason. Although critics' social media reactions are out of the roof. It's crazy. They're talking about how gory it is violent, it is extreme, and a lot of stakes. And those stakes are that a lot of these characters in the Suicide Squad are going to die. Now you would think this is a non-Disney James Gunn, so he's pretty happily just killing off people left and right in his movies. This is what he had to say about 2 characters that are going to die in the Suicide Squad. James Gunn claims he was heartbroken, saying this: "There are 2 characters in particular who, when they die, I still get teary-eyed every time I watch. Even when I'm watching those edited scenes, it still really kills me. I'm wondering who's going to die. You guys gotta take a pick. Let me know whose deaths will have affected James Gunn the most." I'm gonna guess maybe Rick Flag or possibly maybe Polka Dot Man. I mean, he really talked about Polka Dot Man a lot in the interview, so I'm wondering if he's not gonna make it. And I know there's already spoilers going around town at this moment, so please be careful if you don't want to be spoiled by this movie. There's a lot of death. A lot. Now, one squad that refuses to die, and rightfully so, is David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Apparently, there's going to be a Release The Ayer Cut campaign on August 5th, the day before the Suicide Squad comes out. And what's interesting about that is that I'm not sure, but David Ayer posted something today that kind of makes you think that he's trying to tell us something about the Ayer Cut. Or it's just our tinfoil hat talking. David Ayer posted, "Reach." And there's a picture of his hand reaching upwards towards a tree, a dead tree. Now, a lot of people quote tweeted it and responded to that with "Release the Ayer Cut." And I don't know if he liked it or not, but it does make a little sense. He's reaching out towards a dead project that seemingly is gone and try to capture it and bring it back to life. And it makes sense that fans are going to try to do the Release the Ayer Cut close to the Suicide Squad. I mean, they could probably do that. Hashtag Release the Ayer Cut, hashtag Suicide Squad. Hop on the Suicide Squad trend as it goes up. Heck, it may even help James Gunn's Suicide Squad because the both voices are trending at the same time. But we'll see if either has any effect on the Suicide Squad box office. Like it said, there's not so much noise about the Suicide Squad. Understandably, we're in a pandemic at the moment, but there's going to be a lot of conversation about the Suicide Squad's box office. Now let's talk about Aquaman. Now there's another James that's making DC movies, and that's right, that's James Wan. He's making Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Now the first Aquaman made $1 billion in the box office, and so of course he's going to make Aquaman 2. But it looks like he's not really, looking forward to even making Aquaman 3. In an exclusive chat with IGN, James Wan said this: "There's a reason why I don't make 3 movies in the same series. It'd be lucky to get me to make a sequel, and then after that, I just get bored. I want to do something different." Bored? Okay, so I wonder why he came back to Aquaman 2. I would say the thing that really got me excited to come back to it's finding a story that I think is worthy, and if not, better than the first movie. Better than the first movie. It's always got to be better, right? And also, for me, really, when I come back to a sequel, whether it was for Insidious 2 or The Conjuring 2 and now Aquaman 3, is I helped shape and create these characters that I eventually fall in love with, and I feel like I'm not done with them yet. So I feel like I owe them one more story from me. I really wanted to come back in order to continue the next chapter of Arthur Curry's story, and Orm's story, and Mara's story, and Black Manta's story. He credits screenwriter David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick for finding a really cool story to bring all these characters back, and then growing them in a big way, and taking them to the next level or the next chapter of their lives. Beyond the characters, it was the potential of more underwater world building that kept Wan interested in making another Aquaman film. The first movie introduced the audience to such a big world that was only scratching the surface, and I feel like I can now dig deep into that and expand on that more. It's when I feel like I no longer have anything else to say, that's what I back away. But right now, that's not the case with The Lost Kingdom. And you know what, that kind of makes sense because he never came back for The Conjuring, or I think Insidious as well. He made the first 2 movies, and then he, here you go, to somebody else. You go ahead and make the third one if you need to make a third one. But I gotta say, The Conjuring 3, it was missing that James Wan element. I felt like it's not as replayable or rewatchable as The Conjuring 1 and The Conjuring 2. There was something missing, and I think James Wan was that something missing. So I'm really sad that he's not going to come back for Aquaman 3 if Aquaman 2 is going to be really good. And I don't know if the studio will ever get to convince him to come back for 3 or not. Seems like James Wan's going to do what James Wan's going to do. But I guess I'm curious about the future of DC after the Aquaman The Lost Kingdom. Where are we going to be at that point? Now, judging from recent social media posts, Aquaman The Lost Kingdom will explore a similarly lost underwater civilization, Necrus. In the DC Comics, Necrus was a militant society ruled by the tyrant Mongol, and unlike Atlantis, Necrus wasn't in a fixed location, but rather could appear in various locations thanks to its ties to a roving alien satellite in Earth's orbit. Aquaman The Lost Kingdom is scheduled to open theaters on December 16th of 2022. Now, I know there was certain rumors were talking about, hey, because this whole Flash thing is going to change the DCU timeline. Then when we get to Aquaman The Lost Kingdom, Aquaman's going to have short hair, blonde, and he's pretty much going to be looking like Thor from Avengers. I don't know. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and find out what actually happens in Aquaman The Lost Kingdom. Hey, do you think it's going to be another $1 billion? Huh? No? That's not funny anymore? All right.